So can we agree that in at least the first three games, Silent Hill is intentionally leading you on a path?
To hell.
No, just on a path. Like
Oh yeah,
it
obviously.
knows how to put you in the buildings in order, and it knows that and the key to the next building is always in the last building you were in for and et cetera, et cetera. It's always like a straight linear path, no matter how much it doesn't feel like it.
You
And I
know,
wonder,
I can say a lot of games are like that,
yeah, like everyone's just like, oh, this game's too linear. No,
but
it's not.
I'm just
It's
gonna
not that
say
games are
this. Like, I feel like to that there's also a level of immersion that actually like takes away from the linearity. So like even if it is very linear,
that's
like
usually what you want. Like
yeah, I mean
essentially,
like if it's so immersive, like you won't even notice it.
like Metroid is way more linear than people say it is. Like it's just like, oh, it gives you all this freedom. It's just like you
But
get a
really,
new
like
thing and you
you
go to
have to
the area
yeah.
that that thing unlocks.
Yeah, I mean, like they give you a lot of options. The problem is, like, you need a thing in order to go to the next path.
But usually whenever people complain about linearity, what they're really complaining about is like how much freedom do I have to do things other than what I'm being asked to do?
Actually, oddly enough, if you want to make a comparison, like The Legend of Zelda is a lot like that, also.
Legend of Zelda is super linear.
But
But it doesn't
like
feel linear because it
no,
gives you all this breadth of options to do while you're
like for
outside
instance,
where you're
Link to the
supposed to.
Past is like super open world. It's just that you need certain items in order to go to certain dungeons.
Link to the Past isn't even that linear towards the second half. They number all the dungeons for like no reason, but
Yeah.
like it's
I think
it's like
you do need a couple items in order to go to a couple, but I think you can skip like a couple dungeons, so you don't have to
yeah,
go in
like you go to
specific
you
order.
go to one because it makes you go to one first, but then you can go wherever you want
Hmm.
and explore around and look around and find things. And linearity, like as we went 3D, it just became a lot easier to just make things linear. I don't know why
Yeah.
I said that with like a seductive burp.
The only problem is like if you don't make this level of immersion, then it becomes Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, that's like if you've ever heard an argument for Final Fantasy 13, and I have, essentially like it's just like oh, I hate it because it's like disgustingly linear, and they're just like, well, what about Final Fantasy 7? That's just taking you from town and then you walk to the next town, and I'm just like, but fucking, you get to do things. You get to walk around and do things.
You have
You're
an
not in a
overworld.
literal hallway the whole time.
I'm just gonna say you have an overworld, and as weird as it is to say, I like overworlds.
Overworlds are good. Towns are good. You want to have towns to walk around.
By the
Maybe
way,
games to do in towns. Prisoner shirt.
uh,
Something's written on it in wax. Maybe you could soak it in some kind of colored liquid.
so
20 bucks, it's gonna be blood.
yeah, actually, it's the bathtub back in our apartment.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
This is the puzzle that I was talking about. This is the other trigger. So basically, we have to get back to our apartment. As soon as we soak it into our tub and get the
Oh, I
remaining.
remember this puzzle now. I'm pretty sure I immediately called that it was blood the first time too.
Well, it's covered in wax, I think.
Well,
Like
yeah,
here.
no, and we need a wax to like stamp it out and shit.
No, no,
But
no, no.
like,
What we need is okay. So like a part of the shirt is covered in wax, but we can't actually read it because it's white, you know. So what we need to do is dye our shirt so we can read the wax part.
what the fuck?
At least I
That's
think that's what we're getting at.
That's way stupider than what I was thinking. Why not just look at the shirt? Oh, it's white. What? Wet
But
it
you
then. I don't know. Kill a monster. Wet it in its blood. Fuck.
you figure that'd be the simplest answer, but no.
Go back home.
Go back home.
And this checks to see if the sword is in your inventory?
Well, I mean, so like I said, there's two triggers.
And this is the first one?
Well, this is one of them. The sword is the other.
Oh, wait, what? So
So
you or do you not need the sword in what we're about to do?
you'll need this. Well, you won't need it to solve the puzzle.
Okay.
You'll need it to progress after we get this trigger.
Okay.
See, once we solve the puzzle, that's one trigger. The other trigger is if we get the sword.
I would just like it if, like, you go home and, like, you wake up and there's just a nagging housewife beside you.
Or like Eileen's voice.
Why didn't you take out the trash? I
Just
don't.
like just like super possessed Eileen just like right next to you, just yelling at you. Why did you use a holy candle to purify my spirit?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Now I'm super possessed by
Now I'm like
freaking
super
Walter.
radical and shit.
Now I'm going to be super. Oh, okay. You know what? I think we have one of your favorite possessions going on.
Which one?
You know, the one at the door.
My personal fave.
The one where we need a Saint medallion in order to actually get the true ambiance of.
Yay!
I
Like
thought you'd like that.
after a while, this stops being really scary.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just it's. I think it's just really cool to look at.
It's super cool to look at. Like it's such an awesome effect, and if you don't know it's there, it's gonna get you.
Well, yeah, obviously, but it's just that like I wanted to show that off just because you like it and you wouldn't have thought to check it just because it's at the eye hole. It doesn't
I
really
didn't
seem like much, and I
I
mean
didn't
like
know I
honestly,
didn't know that it had a visual trigger or like a visual representation that that particular haunting was happening.
yeah. Well, there's only a slight like depiction of it
There's blood
happening.
dripping out of the keyhole.
Yeah, the eye hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's your only indication, but you don't think to check it. You're just like I'm gonna heal it because if you try to like go near it, it's gonna hurt you. So you're
But
just
it's
like
also awesome.
it is. That's why you miss it. Anyway, so as I was saying, in order to solve the puzzle, my
That's
room
really
on the
dumb.
second floor.
Why wouldn't the wax also fuck it, I don't know how wax works.
Basically, it's like it doesn't cling to the shirt. Like it super repels like water or liquid.
Yeah, but blood?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I've never played with wax. I don't know any properties of wax.
it's super smooth and doesn't soak up liquid.
That's it. I'm gonna make
We
realistic
need
wax.
something that could basically not like be readable because it blended in with the shirt.
I'd believe it.
Yeah, then you get a chance to read it, but whatever. You guys can read it.
Are we missing anything?
No. Basically, that was one trigger. That's what I was trying to say all along. We got both triggers, so theoretically, like our ghostly friend that haunts the water prison should like appear now. And we need
Well,
him to appear because he has a key. That's the whole
water?
reason. What?
Water?
Water?
Water Sullivan?
No. What?
Did
You really just went there?
did we ever bring that back?
Was that even a thing?
Was that a thing? I could have
No.
sworn we both just kept calling him Water Sullivan for a while.
No. We didn't. No.
Didn't we call him something?
Walter.
We called him something.
I don't know.
Somewhere? We gave him like a
Geico
dumb
Caveman?
name and snickered at it for like 20 minutes.
I don't recall.
Oh my god, Gildan. This is why I am the only funny one on your show.
Fuck you.
Great comedic comeback.
Great comeback, Gildum.
I was
Just
I was
as immature as I figure.
I was at New York and my dad upstaged me in fucking with a guy.
I hate when that happens.
and
It's like when I was trying to impress this girl and like my best friend shows up and she like he just tries to upstage me and I'm trying to impress this chick and it's just not working.
And so essentially what happened was a comedian, an up and coming comedian, like comes over to us and he's just like, "Hey, I need some money to perform at a thing. I'm an upcoming comedian. Hey," and he didn't say anything funny. And like I
Just
had
like
like,
this ghost, he isn't saying anything funny.
"Hey."
He's just a fatty with his shirt off. He's like
And like
Harley
I had the
from
perfect
freaking
I had like
Lisa,
the
the
perfect thing to
painful
say to,
RPG.
yeah.
Except
And
he
I had
doesn't
like,
drive a truck.
oh, that sucks. And I had like the perfect thing to say to this guy, and my dad, I don't remember what my dad fucking said, but essentially it's just like, yeah, if you don't need money. You got a nice shirt, sell that. And he's just like, fuck you, and he just threw his milkshake at my dad and left.
I'm glad. But anyways, so we need the sword and we need to solve our puzzle in order to get that to trigger that cutscene.
You need to stab this ghost with your butter
Well,
knife.
and the reason why we need him to show up is because, as I said, he has a key. And also, in order to get the key, we need to make him, I don't know, we need to fate him, essentially. He needs to be dropped on
Can
a
we
bar.
see the key on his personage?
Nope,
How do we know the key is on his personage?
we don't.
Oh,
It's just one of those things where it's like he apparently has. Well, maybe there was something that said it, but honestly, I don't know. Point is, we have to contend with him. He's like one of the only ghosts that we actually have to contend with.
boss fight.
Yeah, essentially, it's boss fight, mini boss fight. Either way you put it, it's like this is something we have to do.
There's
And now
something
I
incredibly
don't really
dumb.
like to fight ghosts just because like unless you use the sword of obedience, it doesn't really work out too well.
The manliest way to fight a ghost, slowly and consistently hit him with a pickaxe.
I mean, like I thought ghosts were incorporeal. You know, I didn't think that
Clearly, you're
using physical.
fucking wrong.
Hey, if Pokemon taught me nothing, it's that physical attacks, especially normal attacks, do not work on ghosts. Anyways, I like to use the Sword of Obedience just because it makes this a lot easier. We never have to contend with this guy ever again. Also, we get the key. So, now would be a good time to actually...
Oh, so we just leave him there for the rest of eternity?
Yeah, he's never going to come back.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, I think now would be a good time to cut, because ironically, you know how we've pretty much been Eileenless? Like, we haven't had...
Oh yeah, isn't this the part where we spent like an hour hunting for Eileen?
Well, point is, we're just gonna cut right here. We'll be right back. We're gonna go find her and then like get her back.
Jump cut.